all of you. Uh, my name is Pant, and today I'll be talking on emerging career opportunities. I've got some cuttings from newspapers. Recently, there was a lot of news on suicides being done by IIT aspirants, and I've been in industry for 4 decades, and I just could not understand why students are going for suicide and why IIT is being considered as the pinnacle of success, and there's nothing else to do if you don't get into IIT. Over a period of time, what I found is that the school education probably is where the maximum efforts happen of children. In college, the efforts reduce, and once you are in a job, a totally different kind of efforts are required. In school and in college, what is necessary is to get marks. 0 marks is considered very bad. 100 marks is considered very good. So what is the difference in this marking system in school and then when you go into a job? Anyone? In a job, what happens? How is doing a job different from studying in a school or college?
So marks are replaced by salary.
By?
Salary is
Yeah, fees is replaced by salary. So in school, you pay a fee, means your parents pay a fee to study. And in job, you get a salary for doing something. So that is one difference. In business or in a job, 0 can go below 0 also. So you can be -10, -20, -30, huge losses, bankruptcy. And this 100 can become 200, 500, 1000. So the salary will be there. But the question will also be, are you adding value to justify the salary that is going to be given to you? As long as you are adding value to justify the salary, the marks will be beyond 100. Else, it will go below 0 and you will be probationed out. There are many people who come from college and they are toppers and 90%, 95% maybe in college and in school and thereafter. But they are a miserable failure in a job. In fact, there is a book on statistics, business statistics for business, by Rubin and Levin. And in the first or the second chapter, there is an exercise on correlation. And the data, if you see, it is marks in college and the success in corporate life. And the correlation is -1. That means there is absolutely no correlation between what you are able to achieve in school or college and what you are able to achieve in corporate life or in business or in politics. Because the skill sets required are totally different. The competencies required are totally different. IQ gets replaced by EQ. In fact, the more intelligent you are a disaster. I had with me in IIT a near topper. And he got picked up, hand-picked by Rusi Modi for Tata Steel. And this was 70s where jobs were scarce, so we were a bit envious of this boy. But when he went to Tata Steel, it was a big problem for him. Because the moment in college, Rusi Modi giving a big presentation, that all was nice. But now Jamshedpur, and that too, a blast furnace there, where he was put into shift, where there are Bihari workers. Because in furnace and all, you have these Bihari people who are very good in that. And they said, you just keep quiet, leave your engineering aside, and let us sleep. So you can't sleep, it is misconduct, I'll charge sheet you. So they said, karke dekho. Now, this boy, he was a topper. Now in college what happens is, if supposing a fellow colleague doesn't behave well with you, what do? You complain to the professor or the director, and since you're a good student, the director will side with you and punish the delinquent boy. So he was having the same mindset. So in general shift, when the shift changed, so he went to his manager and said, these people are not good, they're misbehaving, we must charge you. Expecting a positive response from the manager, but the manager said, you will not do that. You have to sharpen your interpersonal skills. This word he had never heard in college, and this was not taught to him also. Now, this boy got squeezed between the shift workers who were abusive but very good in their work, and they were able to fulfill the target of so many tons of steel which should be produced. And the manager who would say, you must get along with them, you have to get work from them, you must sharpen your interpersonal skills. Then also in another shift, he found a lot of people exchanging abuses, because in production, you have to shout. Again, that's a skill not taught in college. You have to use abusive language, which as a good student you are told not to use. While here, it was just the opposite, because that was what was required. He found so much difficulty in managing the show that one day he collapsed. He had a nervous breakdown, and I've seen nervous breakdowns in two places. One is coming from, because he was my colleague, so I know about him in Tata Steel, and the other was the general manager in L&T, where I worked in my initial years. This nervous breakdown, in the sense that now he could not think, so that IQ also was gone, and hands were shaking, feet were shaking, not do anything. And he was brought back to Delhi. He was admitted in AIMS, remained there for around a year, and then he had to switch the career. And what was that switch? The switch to career was teaching. So he became a professor in IIT Delhi. So a person totally unfit for industry had to come back into teaching. So the skill sets and the competencies become very different. It's one thing which I have realized over a period of time, and maybe I'll share more of that with you. I myself have done graduation in mechanical engineering from IIT Delhi. I've done MTech in industrial engineering also from IIT Delhi, because there was a time when I wanted to go into academics. Then anyway, I did not go, so for good or bad, I don't know. And I went into industry, started with L&T in Bombay, and it kept on switching to different places. Did around 20 years of working for other people, and then became a self-employed person, and 20 years I've been working for self. My strength, because of this so many 4 decades of experience, has been versatility, identifying problems and solving problems for myself as well as for organizations, and arriving at holistic solutions to problems. And what I do for my livelihood, because people keep on asking, that is all very good, but paisa kahan se aata hai? So bread and butter. So that is mentoring, coaching, consulting, training, teaching. These 5 different gaps, they have just happened, they were not planned, and they just happened because I decided to be on my own, and because Harshad Mehta and that kind of a boom time. So I had invested in few shares which had boomed and skyrocketed, and I thought that I had a lot of money, and so therefore there was the right time to quit. day I quit, I think within a month or so, the stock market collapsed and it became zero. So that's why I'm giving that example. It became zero and minus because if you consider the opportunity loss. So at that time, I had two options. So that is where I got the problem solving skills. The option was you go back into a job and then you forget your desire to do something independently, or you continue to pursue whatever you wanted to do, become independent. Now with no investment, the only thing one could do was to become a consultant. So I thought I'll become a consultant, and while moving around, few friends they said you join our organization as a retainer kind of a consultant. So that's the way it started. Then another boy whom I had been quite close, almost like an informal mentor. He had joined Lupin Pharmaceuticals, and since he was close to the owner, he had risen high in that organization. So he said, I'll start giving you requirements, you do manpower consultancy. So that was HR activity, but that was the work that came to me. So I became a placement consultant and he started sending requirements. And it was very simple because it was boom time and all you had to do was to get some biodatas and then place them and 1 month's salary was given to you. But as I say, destiny moves around in different ways. So one company, it's a switchgear manufacturing company, it is in Noida, it's still there. There I placed few engineers and I had gone there to collect my check. And the owner was a young person. When he met me, he said, we have a problem with the union. They want increase in wages. But before that, I want to have an assessment of productivity levels and capacity before I give them a wage raise. So since you have this kind of industrial background, can you do that study? So I started doing that study. So that was my proper consultancy assignment. And they were making around 4,500 MCBs per day. And my study showed that they can make 6,500 MCBs per day without any investment. So obviously the owner was very happy and so we could increase the wages by 10%, but the productivity levels were going up much higher. And he was happy, I was happy, and my consultant started working. But then one of the union workers, he taught me another lesson. He approached me, he said, you have done a study and it shows 6,500, so it's very good. But you did not ask me. I said, you were never visible. I mean, union workers are never visible, so how can I ask you? No, pushna chahiye tha. Hum to 8,500 banate. Now, the company is making 4,500. My so-called elaborate professional study is showing he can make 6,500. And now the worker tells me he can make 8,500. Now, what is the right capacity? So that taught me a new lesson that you can't leave people if they are motivated, if they are willing to work, then the capacity on paper, there's nothing, I mean, capacity is all based on assumptions. So if you keep on removing those assumptions, the productivity levels can be raised. So that has kept me in good state. And then when you make a project like this, you have to present it. So I had to present it so that they can get convinced that they can make 6,500. And that made me a trainer. This was also the time when a lot of management colleges were mushrooming around NCR. So I started getting teaching assignments. And I stopped at P.Tech, but these institutes would call me doctor. So I said, good, no problem, Dr. Pant. So without doing PhD, I was Dr. Pant and I was professor. So that was another lesson to me that you don't have to do anything for getting these titles. Every letter was professor or visiting professor and it was doctor. Initially I thought that they would introduce me like this, Dr. Pant. It's fine. But one day I said it's becoming too much because now someday it will get exposed and then they will say you did not say. So, but the realization was that these degrees, these titles are all meaningless. It is the work that you do that probably gives you that kind of respect or title or interest. Now, I can't do all of these things together. So what I did was, depending on the workload. So if the workload is more, it will go towards consultancy. If the workload is less, it will go towards training and teaching. While doing this consultancy, training and teaching, I encountered many students and fresh engineers and middle-level managers and general managers and their EDs and MDs. And through this process is what I have acquired, when I say it's not a, it's an informal survey of the kind of jobs which people are getting. That is where this list of 10 profiles has come. I'm not an expert in any of those profiles, okay? But I know that there is huge demand for each one of them. In addition, for all those people who become pessimistic, jobs, in spite of India not being a very progressive or still developing country, there are jobs for everyone. Okay? There is no scarcity of jobs. The question is, do you want to work? That's the fundamental question. If a person wants to work, job is there. Now it may look very simple question, but many people don't want to work. Why should you work? If you belong to a rich family, why should you work? If you have inherited wealth, okay, in South Delhi, for example, there are many people who have inherited a big house, so they don't want to work. You can rent out whatever property you have, and that gives you reasonable income. You don't need to work. Some people get married into rich families. You don't have to work. Some people are the second or third generation industrial groups, members of that. They don't have to work. So that's the first question, which and many people in Delhi don't want to go outside Delhi. So that is also equivalent not wanting to work. You know, both dur. Yeah, Naxalite, no, Naxalites are there everywhere in India, so you can't work. If you want to work, then the scope is limited. The places where I go, no McKinsey consultant will go. I go to Jhagadia. Anyone has heard of Jhagadia name? Jhagadia is in Gujarat. So will any McKinsey consultant go? Will not go. I will go to Bhandara. No one has heard that name. So India is a huge country. There are pockets and they're all big industries. These are all 1,000, 2,000 crores industries. They're not small. But since IITians and IIM people are not willing to go there, after all, somebody has to work. So I find people who are from second tier, third tier, fourth tier colleges doing good work there, and salaries are reasonable, market friendly. If you want to work, then you'll have to work for 40 years during your lifetime. Around, say you start at 20, 22, and 60. Now the retirement age in some places becomes 65, including government. And 48 hours per week, so it becomes almost 1 lakh hours in the workplace. So might as well do a job which you find enjoyable and stimulating, rather than be in a job which is frustrating and which you're not liking. The second question is, are you willing to change? Change you will have to at whatever age you join. So if you join at the age when you are 21, 22, by the time you are 5 years senior, some new development would have taken place. If you don't change yourself, you will be in problem. Simple thing, except when I ask some people in the course of my interaction, okay, let's do. No, Excel I don't know. Why you don't know? Sikhaya nahi. Management mein sikhaya. Management and training program anyway. So if company doesn't send you training program, then you will not learn. Project management. This is a large company where I am going continuously. Now they have a huge project department. Because they have to modify, upgrade this, that. Each project is 20 crores, 50 crores, 100 crores. Now my first question was that, what planning are you doing? They're all busy. Not active. Where is the planning? Where is the network? Where is the chart? How are you monitoring? How are you reviewing? Nothing is there. It's all in our mind. But I said, there are softwares available. The software we don't know. I said, this project management software. MS Project is there. Primavera is there. So why don't you buy? Why don't you learn? IT department should do it. IT department is there. IT department also doesn't know this software. So they want to outsource, and it goes on and on. What is missing is none of those people there are willing to change. So I said, you are like a mystery then. So where's the difference? Why do you call yourself as project manager? Now, since I am close to the owner, because he is the person who is asking me to drive that organization, now they are doing, they are being forced to do and forced to learn. So this way you will find everywhere, the change will be there at whatever stage, wherever you join an organization, there will be change in technology. No one will be there to teach you. You have to learn yourself. This MOOC that we are talking about, I am becoming very intelligent because no one knows MOOC. So I said these courses are available free. It's free. But the moment you say free, the owner is the happiest person because now he's got something which is free. Because this open office and all they use. So anything which is free is used very frequently, it's popular. And a few courses I have also done from Coursera and edX, and they're very good. In fact, I have gone through a course in presentation skills. Many people say, presentation skills, how can it be taught like this? But whatever a brick and mortar kind of a teacher can teach you, online courses also can teach you the same. There's absolutely no difference. The content is better. Else you rust. There's nothing like permanence of job. This is another problem. And that is where probably the parents need to be mentored. So either you go for a government job, that is permanent. And probably it's the best job also. It's safe, secure, again. So ethics and all you don't have to bother about. It's a nice job, you can go up to 65 years. Somebody said, if you ask, will you go to a government school? They said, no. Will you admit yourself to a government hospital? They said, no. Will you take a government job? Yes, yes, yes. Because there is a lot of merit. So, if you forget the government jobs, there is no job which is permanent. In the evening at 5 o'clock, you may be asked, namaste, not required. Americans may say pink slip, somebody may say something else. But basically, it's a short-lived. So when institutes say our placement was 100%, it has no meaning. Okay. During the financial crisis of 2007, okay, people had got job appointment letter of 1 crore, and when they went, the door was closed. That was the most horrible. You must have seen it on TV also, in whether it was UK or US. It's done from Ivy League College internationally in sales. He's got a job offer from one of these finance companies.
Even right
Goes
now,
the first day.
even right now, I am another one Flipkart.
Flipkart is another thing. Yeah. So there's nothing. Flipkart, same way. See, this Flipkart kind of a thing has been going on with IIMs, IITs, other colleges with reference to IT companies since the time of my son. So that is 2005 or so. They will come first. In the third year they come for recruitment. Okay, in engineering, third year. It's a 4-year course. Third year they will come for recruitment. Okay. So there's such a hurry to take people. So you take people in maybe August, September. So he gives a party because he's been selected. Then April, May, June, July, there is no appointment, no joining letter. So my son got frustrated, okay, and then he joined some BP or something for the interview. Then probably the joining letter came in October, TCS. Then my niece again, she got a job at Accenture. Okay. She did from Mumbai and got a job. Same. June, July, August, she got there in December. Now this was a blessing in disguise, just like you said, IIT not getting into was a blessing in disguise. This kind of a frustration was so powerful that both my son decided not to stay in TCS and my niece decided not to stay in India. So both now are abroad. Okay? So one is in Amazon in Seattle, the other is in Singapore. So that is the way it happens. But we think that if you have got a job, it's a permanent job, now you're going to retire with it. It doesn't happen. Second is, are you adding value? These days I'm doing studies on KPI, KRA and all that, performance management. And people talk about increments and salaries, but when I put this fundamental question, what have you done which your junior could not have done? And this is a problem with managers and general managers. What value are you adding? So no value. Have you done any improvement? Have you done any cost reduction? Have you increased the productivity? Have you got some new technology? Have you learned any new thing? So 45-year-old fellow says, what is there to learn? I know everything. You have to continuously adapt to change. Change provides opportunities for growth. Not changing or rusting in your laurels leads to decay. And third is, are you willing to learn? If yes, no one will teach you. You have to self-learn. You have to be a self-driven individual. All knowledge, I mean, Google probably is the biggest guru. Dronacharya was not the right guru. Google is the guru. Everything is available online. While a person is talking, you can just Google and you will get all the information. But yes, a mentor or coach will be helpful just to facilitate and steer you. A career is a series of jobs required to fulfill a mission, be it of a business or for a not-for-profit organization. No job is good or bad. It is how you fit into the role. So this is also a misnomer that this job is bad, this job is good. I mean, I don't know how we define a job as good or bad. As long, every job requires a set of knowledge, it requires a set of skills, and third term, demanding, talent is required for a job. And talent is a recurring pattern of thought, feeling, or behavior that can be productively applied. This is which comes automatically. Some people have a head for numbers, they have a talent for numbers, so it will come automatically to them. Some people are empathetic, some people have a flair for networking with people, meeting people, socializing with people. Some are caring individuals. Now, if you are able to find a job, or if the company is able to find you with that kind of a fitment, that is, you can say, ideal kind of situation. Here, when we're talking about talent, it is not the talent of a celebrity. Talent is required in every job. Okay, even a carpenter's job, you'll find some carpenter. You will see that everything is perpendicular, neat and clean. You don't have to tell him, he will do it himself. A teacher, for example, teacher should be fond of children, should be fond of students, should be fond of teaching. It should not be the way that Three Idiots film is showing. Okay? People are scared of the professor. Then, not a good teacher. He doesn't have a talent for teaching. A nurse, again, should have, if she has to pick potty and what, she should not feel bad about it. It should be in the nature. So there is one book which is a Gallup organization, American organization. So they have done a lot of research. These words are quoted from them. There's a book called First Break All the Rules. So there a lot of examples are given on this. One example is of a nurse or a doctor who is giving you an injection. Now, there is one nurse who says, I'm giving you an injection, it will not pain you, you be like a man. So she's stern and she gives that injection. And there's another nurse, Nurse B, which also says, this may pain a little, but I will take a lot of care to minimize that pain. So the other nurse is saying it will pain a little, but I will take care that it is minimal. And the first is saying it will not pain at all, and she just pumps that needle on it. Now the person knows that when the needle goes, it will pain. So he feels the first nurse is lying, and the second nurse is more truthful. And therefore they prefer the second nurse. That is what talent is about. Similarly, you have a salesperson. Salesperson one who keeps on saying good morning, good evening, how are you, sir? Does all the paperwork, makes the calls as told with the procedure or the policy, 10 calls per day, makes that. There's a second salesperson who doesn't say good morning, good evening, is very bad in paperwork. He also goes for sales calls. Makes only 3 sales calls in the day. The target was 10. The first one does 10. The second one does 3. The second one is disobedient. The first one is very obedient. When the appraisal time comes, the first one gets an A grade. The second one gets a D grade and is about to be terminated. Then the super boss asks for the results. The results, the first person, 10 calls per day, but no conversion of calls into business order. So no sales realization, only calls. The second person, 3 calls, 2 are converted into sales. And when the super boss talks to the customers, they say he's a brilliant fellow. He's very nice. He's very courteous. And he gives such a good service to us. We have
तो वो सारी चीजें यहाँ कहाँ फिट होती हैं इन 10 में या वो है ही नहीं 2000 में
जो मैंने नहीं फिट होती हैं इसी में फिट होती है मैंने वो फिट आप जो कह रहे हो लोएस्ट लेवल वर्कर्स का ना तो एक तो एनर्जी में इंस्टॉलेशन है कमीशनिंग है फिटिंग में सब ये चाहिए दूसरा लॉजिस्टिक्स में डिलीवरी लास्ट माइल कनेक्टिविटी के लिए मैक्सिमम जॉब्स उनकी जॉब्स थैंक्स टू ई-कॉमर्स तनख्वाह 12,000 से 15,000 हो गई ड्राइवर्स लॉजिस्टिक्स का कुरियर कंपनीज ये डिलीवरी बॉयज इनका जो डिमांड है बढ़ गया है ये छोटे मोटे लोगों को अवेलेबल नहीं होते सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट इसमें स्टोर्स परचेज ये सब आ गया तो इसमें ऐसे लोग चाहिए होते हैं देन जो ये आईटी वाले हैं उसमें नहीं होगा स्टार्टअप है इसमें नहीं होगा देन एनर्जी लॉजिस्टिक्स और सप्लाई चेन ये टीम में बिल्कुल लो वाले जो हैं वो यूज होंगे बिल्कुल लो वाले ना होके थोड़ा उनसे ऊपर पर स्टिल लो वो फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज में तो BFSI सेक्टर जो है बैंकिंग एंड फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज एंड इंश्योरेंस अगर आप किसी भी 3rd 4th 5th 6th टियर इंस्टीट्यूट रैंक इंस्टीट्यूट में जाओगे मैनेजमेंट के जो कहते हैं हमारा प्लेसमेंट पूरा हो गया तो सारी जॉब्स जो है वो BFSI सेक्टर में फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज इंश्योरेंस कंपनीज उन सबको ले जाती है फॉर डूइंग सेल्स एंड मार्केटिंग तो उसमें उस तरह के लोग जाते हैं और जो फ्रेश इंजीनियर्स हैं दे फिट अक्रॉस 1 to 10 अगर वो थोड़ा ब्राइटर टाइप होगा तो एनालिटिक में आ जाएगा स्टार्टअप में आ जाएगा ई-कॉमर्स में आ जाएगा थोड़ा उतना हार्ड वर्किंग होगा तो उतना ब्राइट वैसे नहीं होगा तो एनर्जी में लॉजिस्टिक्स में सप्लाई चेन में डिजिटल मार्केटिंग में उसको जॉब मिलेगा तो अगर आप कभी भी किसी भी इंस्टीट्यूट जाओ तो कहाँ जोमैटो, फ्लिपकार्ट, ओयो, जो और राइटर हैं वो उबर ओला भी देने लगे हैं जॉब्स। इवन ISB के लोग ओला ज्वाइन करने लगे हैं, ओयो ज्वाइन करने लगे। फ्लिपकार्ट का तो आप पढ़ ही रहे हैं तमाशा जो अखबार में आ रहा है। So that's the way. अब इसमें क्या है कि many people will say, what's the point joining startup because startup fails. Startup की definition कहीं मैं पढ़ रहा था, definition ही यही है कि something which keeps on failing. Repetitive failure is defined. रुको भूंगी ला रहा था. That is what I'll show you the repeated failure because it keeps on failing and you learn from it. Again, fail, you learn from it, and finally emerges successful unit. So all startups are not successful. उससे हमें क्या करना है? Because what you have to do is with the learning you become more suited for taking up a higher end job. और failure का जो वहाँ पे लिखा हुआ था ये there are many companies which in your biodata see whether you have failed or not. Failure is considered as a plus point. Because if you have failed and you have been able to come out of it, you have learned something from it, and that is a very valuable experience. Now imagine a person who has always stood first in class, first in college, and in the job also he never failed, and suddenly there is a recession or something and he loses the job. क्या हाल होगा उसको? अभी real example बता रहा हूँ, थोड़ा hilarious जैसा लगेगा. A boy from IIT IM got into one of these investment companies based in New York और काम कर रहा था. फिर उसके पेरेंट्स भी आ गए. मैंने पेरेंट्स आना चाहते थे. यूएस में भी बच्चा इतना अच्छा कर रहा है, IIT का और बढ़िया जॉब मिल गया. डॉलर्स में मल्टीप्लाई से बिकम्स करोड़, और करोड़ आपने देखा होगा अखबार में आता है. They have got crore of job. So parents were to come in November, December, और अक्टूबर या सितंबर जो भी ये क्रैश वैश हुआ था, he lost his job. Now he did not have the courage to tell his parents that he has lost his job. तो वो बेचारा लड़का जो है रोज सुबह जब आ गए इसके पेरेंट्स थे उसके घर में, रोज सुबह 7 बजे उठता था, टाई शाई पहनता था, ड्रेस करता था, and he would go out, making his parents feel that he is going out for a job. And in that winter time, he would spend that 8-10 hours and then come back in the evening. Because his parents were not probably used to failure of his child. So failure can teach you a lot of things. It's good to fail. Medicine का तो आपने सुना ही है, fail so many times, thousand times. But biodata में भी one should keep on seeing whether that person has failed. Because who will fail? Only that person will fail who has done some work. A person who does no work will not fail. आप कोई चीज ट्राई करोगे, कोई चीज एक्सपेरिमेंट करोगे, कोई नया सॉफ्टवेयर बनाओगे, तभी तो फेल होगे. कुछ करो ही मत, so you not fail. So there are many people who take that. And even when you are in a job, then also how many things you are trying, okay? What improvement projects you are doing, that is made part of, मैंने कम से कम डाला हुआ है, that person's KPI. Improvement project, what improvement you have done. So jobs would be there at all levels, and this is one of the reasons why the base salary of unskilled people is going up. Now that manpower is not available. One is Narega, and second is because of this new companies which are able to afford. क्योंकि यहाँ पे मटेरियल तो है नहीं, इसमें तो है, चलो एनर्जी वाले में तो मटेरियल इन्वॉल्व होता है. But the first one, data analytics, and then financial services, and the startups and e-commerce, there is no material. The only resource is manpower. Right. So in a typical automobile industry, 65 to 70% is material cost. So how much can you pay that fellow? Okay, the labor cost may marginally बहुत कम है, so you can't increase his salary, because then you become unprofitable. So manufacturing, that is the problem. In this kind of a service industry, the only component is manpower. So they are able to give higher salaries than what a manufacturing unit can do. So it's not an order, but green energy means basically the non-conventional, like solar is the biggest, wind power, small hydro stations, geothermal. The biggest is solar, and the plan of Government of India, which you must be reading in newspapers or Prime Minister and all, is to move from megawatts of solar power generation to gigawatt. Plan is around 100 gigawatt of solar plants. Now, because of this, there are many colleges which have started providing specialized courses in energy. Delhi is anyway there, the Energy Research Institute, they offer a postgraduate program in energy. And a few management institutes like Great Lakes, they have a specialized course on energy management. And the jobs which are being created are of various kinds. The design of the solar power plant, manufacture of panels, research on solar cells, then doing that feasibility study, whether it is viable to put that solar unit in that particular location, how many hours the sun will be available. So based on that, designing work is carried out, so people are required for that. Then it becomes like a project. And once it is installed and commissioned, then you need a operations and maintenance kind of manpower. So that is what the situation is on green energy. The demand is huge, but the salary is not high. So it is not like that data analytic and all. These are typical, very similar to the traditional profiles of engineers. So salaries will be, I will say, reasonable, not that high, comparable to that of any manufacturing unit. Target of our Prime Minister is 165 gigawatt by 2022, which includes 100 from solar, 60 from wind, 10 from biopower, and 5 from small hydropower. People also put their own captive plants. Am I suited for this career? Since it is mostly technical work, so engineering and science background are preferred. But for support functions like HR, finance, etc., the non-technical people would also be required. These are from the Government of India Piyush Goyal site. A lot of jobs are supposed to be created.
What is that FTE?
Full-time equivalent. A lot of people are there who do part-time work. So 4 hours of work, if you are doing it, is equivalent to half a full-time job. So graduation remains the same. It is in post-graduation that specialized courses related to energy are available. And then there are short-term certificate courses and diploma courses. Then you have e-commerce. There's a lot of similarity between e-commerce and startups. E-commerce is a, word for doing business on the web. So instead of having a brick and mortar kind of a business model, you are doing business on the web. Because the penetration has increased, the connectivity has increased, everyone has a smartphone. So more and more people are doing business online. So you're buying things online. So this field has taken a quantum jump. It requires all kinds of people. It requires management people, it requires marketing people, it requires technical people, web designing, creative people, content also is required. So there again, creativity is needed. Visual interfaces have to be interesting. So that becomes the technical part. Then you need to do search engine optimization, and also analytics comes here also because you have to see how your customers are behaving. Logistics web. So I can say e-commerce is just a total business. It's like a complete company. So it has everything. It has buying, procurement. It has somewhere it has to be made. That item has to be made. Okay. It involves trading. It involves fulfillment with the people. It requires payment, receivable management, cash collection, financing. Ensuring that the contribution doesn't go way below bottom, profitability has to be managed also. So all aspects of running a business come in e-commerce, and that is why maximum number of jobs would be in e-commerce. Now, I can't vouch for any of these figures because these are figures given by different organizations. So, CRISIL research report says e-commerce is to grow at 50 to 55%, and it's touted to become a 50,000 crore industry by 2016. Now, this must have been prepared earlier. Now, 2016 is already there. So, so many jobs which were promised probably were not created. Now, what you need to see whether you are suited for this career or not. You need to have a passion for both technology and business. Because ultimately, unless that technology gets converted into numbers, sales numbers, and you get revenue and you get profits, the e-commerce model is not going to survive. So, technology geek, technology you are very good at is fine. But if the business acumen is missing, then this e-commerce or a startup business is bound to flounder.
Sir, here I have a question. Certainly, you have passion for business in technology. So, in the industry, do you come across examples of hands-on IT managers, like who are very deeply involved in the technical
founders are like that. The person who right now, the person who has who is a combination of business and technology becomes the founder of that business. He becomes the entrepreneur. Okay. And the people who are helping him also have some stake in the business. So they become the CEOs or the CEO of that enterprise. So they also are a combination of business and technology. Then the people lower down would be either business or technology. And that is the way it should be. The top person has to be a combination of business and technology. If he is totally a technology person and misses out on business, then it will not work out. So he will be spending a lot of money and things like that on technology, but he will not know whether it is giving him the necessary benefits. And then at the end of the year, when the numbers are counted, it will be minus. So again, he has to borrow more money, and so again minus. So how far you can endure a negative balance sheet?
And other than this, also have you come across examples of people who are involved in day-to-day development of their products?
All business entrepreneurs are, I mean, you have to next to you, so I don't know about them, but all successful business entrepreneurs, whether in this new technology or the conventional technology, are hands-on microcontrollers. To such an extent that people get irritated that this fellow is so rich. Why is he saying ये font गलत है, ये spelling गलत है, ये ठीक नहीं है, ये लाल क्यों है, नीला क्यों नहीं? So that is the way the entrepreneurs are. The entrepreneurs are prudent people. They will not waste money, and they will not be able to accept less than excellence. So they have an eye for it. So you would have known Steve Jobs, and Bill Gates, and Elon Musk, this Tesla person. All these people are they go into nitty-gritty. So don't go by their press conferences. They look to be very nice people, but they are not nice. So whatever is taught to you in HR and all that is, they're basically autocrats. Jack Welch of GE, who ruled it for 20 years, they're all autocrats, actually autocrats. And they're merciless, actually. So if you bordering on less than excellence, they'll throw you out. And earlier what was very common was that normal distribution curve. Okay. So statistics was used for that. So they'll make a normal distribution curve, and however good you may be, this side, the left part, 10% will be thrown. So that was the Jack Welch model. 10% will be thrown, always. It's a different matter that whoever he throws the 10%, he becomes the chief executive of some good firm. But from his organization, he will weed them out. That was called as forced ranking method of appraising people. So that is the way it is. I mean, so nitty-gritty has to be done. I don't think there is any first generation successful entrepreneur who doesn't go into the details of business. So be very careful. Shiv Nadar of HCL Technologies, now he's old, so and there's a lot of wealth. Again, same. And a few days before, I visited his university in Greater Noida, and you can went round and this and that everywhere, and you can easily make out that the person behind this is going into nitty-gritty. Otherwise, it can't be maintained like that. Excellent maintenance with no students. So the business model may be bad because it was a holiday period and all. So hardly any students except those who must have flunked and have to repeat. But every place is meticulously maintained. So that is what an entrepreneur is. They can share. When they have the session, you can ask them how meticulous they are. Because the other business model is you sell it off. Now, if you sell it off, then you don't have to bother, because then you see how you can ramp up that business and make it very.
I must add here this story because that is to do this flavor. So, as we said, sold the company for $550 million once. He's leaving tomorrow. यहाँ से स्टैंडिंग बनवा के ले जा रहा है कि वहाँ पर अपने शो में दिखानी होगी. Now, we can't imagine any millionaire doing that. He's standing बना के check करा वहाँ ले जाना. So that is the thing. Who is that? You're talking about super guys. Insurance companies. It makes sense actually. So it makes sense. So what happens is that actually it's not only entrepreneurship. All great institutions are made by people who look into every detail. I come from academia. Every institution will talk about the founding principal or director or vice chancellor, whatever, because they care about that. The successors are usually employees of which stake or whatever, they don't have that much of a
So an entrepreneur will never switch on his AC in his room till he reaches there. Professional 10 किलोमीटर पहले से सेक्रेटरी को फोन कर देता है, मैं आ रहा हूँ, और सब ठंडा ठंडा.
You should be traveling business class or first class. बहुत सारे successful लोग in fact on the OEM chief Samsung का ये they are not traveling economy class.
Why waste money? Because they feel it is our money. So, and in plants and all, whenever they see oil drop, they will start shouting. क्योंकि उसको लगता है मेरा पैसा अभी तो मैंने देख लिया, पता नहीं कितना और तेल गिरा था. See, that's the thinking. While professionals and all these say, ये क्या है, उन्हें इतना कंजूस किया है, so many millions of dollars, and वो एक oil drop के लिए इतना हल्ला कर देगा. बिरला में तो ऐसा हो गया था, एक पुराना वो चिट्ठी आती ना, from one point to the other. So people would type a new one and new envelope and send. So you would how wasting fresh stationery, fresh envelope. You should use old envelopes. तो वहाँ पे धीरे 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 कल्चर बन गया था. If you are exchanging among yourself, तो नया लिफाफा, नया कागज, ओके। पर अगर बाबू को जाना है, दे आर कॉल्ड बाबू, बाबू को अगर जाना है तो गेट दी ओल्डेस्ट, डर्टीएस्ट, फुल ऑफ स्मज एनवलप जिसमें कई बार रूटिंग हो गया, काटा 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 काटा, और उसके अंदर चिट्ठी भी जो होगा वो वन साइड, मतलब एक में कुछ है, दूसरी साइड में आपने टाइप कर दिया, बाबू इज हैप्पी।
गांधी को गरीब रखने में काफी पैसे खर्च होते हैं।
हाँ, तो उसी तरह का है वो। बेसिकली लेसन तो हम सीखते नहीं, हम खाली उसको वो कर देते हैं। So that used to be of the Babu, but they are very very prudent. I mean, if you even read Sam Walton का जो Walmart का जो था, उसका Made in America बुक है, तो उसमें वही prudence का पूरा बात है उसमें, which has been copied by किशोर बियानी, Made in India करते हैं।
It was made.
हाँ, तो Made in India मैंने वो Made in America भी पढ़ा था। I put both the books together. पूरा similar, almost similar. So e-commerce, traveling, ticketing, retail, all this you anyway know. So a lot of areas where technology, creativity, as well as fulfillment is involved. You can learn. There are so many open courses available. Aptech and IT, many private institutes provide it, and MOOC would be a good source of such learning. Then the logistics and supply chain. Logistics now has become very professional because it's the movement of things from one point to the other. Now, there are various ways of moving an item from one point to the other. It can be by sea, ship, port, or it can be by road, it can be by railways, it can be through rivers. And so these professionals are supposed to know the pros and cons and the cost associated with each one of them. In addition, there's a cost of inventory. So if supposing the cost of travel is less, but it takes long time, so your inventory in the pipeline will increase. There's a cost to it. So it's not only the cost per ton which is critical, it's also the lead time which is involved and the inventory which will be there as work in progress. Then in logistics, even the stores part is included, the warehousing part and the stores part. A lot of money gets involved in logistics. So that is why it has become a critical thing. Because you're transporting, so you're blocking money, you're paying also as a freight cost, clearing and forwarding cost, port handling cost, cargo handling cost, all big chunks of money. And if you save a little bit here and there, it straight away improves the bottom line of the organization. This was
can you go through this a little faster? Key points बता दो.
Okay. Yeah, best होगा सवाल पूछ लें तो और faster.
So maybe I think that's the best. वापस slide पे चले जाओ तो 10 बातें बहुत हैं.
हाँ.
A list of 10.
Yeah.
I have a few questions.
Yeah, because you can ask questions on it. And
Overall
then
questions.
you can see the details later
Whatever
on.
have a question you ask, and then we have. But we have career stories from Anurag also.
See, I have one question.
हाँ.
And since it was like creating a course around it, what I see here, I see one thing missing. So in case we can think of it.
Yeah.
If you see global trends, all the software-based companies are turning now the device companies. So hardware is the new thing which is coming up. And if you see 5 years back in this system, not many household things were smart, but now almost everything is smart. Even we have got a commode now which is smart, and it is being plotted. So now wherever this smartness is, there is a controller. And wherever there is a controller, there is some coding connected. Now when this kind of thing is there, and when we are seeing the big shift in major companies, those even the Google's are going device company and all those big Microsoft and big device company now. So a big thing which is till now not in India, but globally it is there.
Yeah.
The hardware who are creating devices. Now that thing I'm seeing missing.
No, no, that is deliberate. Let me explain. There is one what we call in the mainstream thing. So what you're saying is Internet of Things, smart things, etc. And I'll be talking about it as part of the fourth industrial revolution. What Jitendra is trying to do is to draw attention to a lot of things around which we ignore because we are all chasing those things. So what he is saying is that this is a special effort to bring things which are much in need, much in requirement, and do not necessarily require, except for data scientists, very high levels of training. But people are missing this out. So the issue is that there is a mainstream training, but you must remember the mainstream thing is going to have less and less employability. It's more about ideas, innovation, and leadership. And I was once asked this question in the talk. I was giving a talk on leadership, and there I was some institute. Somebody said, "But sir, I don't want to be a leader. I want to be just a boss." So it was very interesting. I was in my usual flow of leadership and ideas and innovation and this thing. He says, "But I don't want to be lead." So what he's saying is there are so many opportunities which are around, which are good opportunities, and therefore made special effort to put them together. What the main trends are, we will be talking about in that fourth industrial revolution aspect, and is a separate kind of a thing. So this is really a deliberate attempt, and there are so many things around us, and there's a third dimension, which we are not speaking about, which I spoke in private to Bhupesh, is about, see, you have all these technology companies. Who's most important? Supreme Court, the regulators. You may have a great technology, regulators.
You're talking about that Oracle and Google thing?
No, not only Oracle. In India, voice over IP was banned. Even today, you are not sure whether you are on legal ground or not. Defamation law may be violated. So the other issue that is going to come up, and if we can develop, and I would urge Bhupesh to do it, is on issues about ethics, privacy, and new things. So you will say all this Internet of Things. What about the ethics of it? You may be a smart home. Do I want my data to be shared by everybody?
Yeah.
Who decides all the time? Who decides? It's not only state. So, do you want your wife to know everything that is happening when she's away? Right?
That Google knows more about us than our wives.
Yes. No, not only Google. I was talking to a banker, and she said the bank knows most about you.
Yes.
More than your wife. Because the bank knows where you are spending money. Right? So therefore, and there's a big issue therefore of privacy and bank data. So that is another dimension, and there will be specialists required for that.
Right.
Specialists who will balance institutional requirements, social requirements versus individual requirements. And so that's another sort of thing. So that's the idea.
Yeah.
But on this, if you have some more
No,
questions.
they're literally very, actually big opportunity.
Right. So that was the idea that we don't.
They are employment oriented. Right now for the next 10 years, 50 years onwards.
See, in another session that we did, we want to talk about some very special achievers. And whereas my other colleague wanted to talk about Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and something, I spoke about a few other things. Kids from Mongolia who did very well in an edX course and then went to Stanford. This illegal migrant from Mexico who became CEO. I said, see, we all know that Bill Gates is a hungry man, right? But अगर हम यहाँ हैं, वहाँ से जाके significantly higher बन जाए, that is good enough. So from some Bhatinda, if I go to Silicon Valley and even establish myself, it is good enough. We don't have to go all the way to Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. I think the story is about this, about people creating enterprises or even creating jobs for themselves around these, which in some bhasha they call low-hanging fruits. So any other question so that we can.
Now, one thing, because you have how a person can start a career in consulting. Because technically, if the guy is new, it is very difficult.
All नहीं अनुभव नहीं है ये तो है technology है. I am graduates. I am Ahmedabad. We are what? 22, 23 years old. They are appointed by McKinsey, Bain, BCG and all that as a job. And then they're sent to a large company as a consultant from McKinsey. So the way it works, how does it work? That fellow, all these companies have a big knowledge center, knowledge bank. I can share you an example from a steel plant where I'm also going there, and we got a fellow from one of these organizations. The person who's heading the steel plant is a 55-year-old person who has spent a lot of time in Bhilai, in this and that. So he was thinking that this new 22, 23-year-old fellow, he will know nothing about steel, which is a fact also. But he has all the numbers. So in the first meeting itself, after taking the numbers of that steel plant, at home he will make some presentation and say, your productivity per person, so much, Nippon Steel, so much, this steel, so much. So you are way below that. Manpower, okay? Energy consumption. For each section, steel melting shop, rolling, bright cast, he has those figures available. Now, the executive director, the moment he is told that your performance that is way below the benchmark, what will happen? What will be his reaction? He immediately accepts the expertise of this McKinsey fellow, or uske paunch hota hai, you are great. So something must be there in IM which is generating such good concept. Actually, it's nothing to do with the IM. It is with that knowledge bank, which is all IT and this, getting all this information collected and data warehousing, data mining is all there. And it's like a search engine, it's like a Google, mini Google. And it's confidential. So that is the way the consultants operate. And once the assignment is completed, they make a report. That report goes again to the knowledge bank. So the next consultant, if he does on steel, he will have all those examples plus this new example. So the enrichment of the organization happens like that. And these youngsters, after 8 to 10 years, they become like experts without having worked even for 1 hour in a manufacturing unit. That's the way.
Actually, I think we've forgotten, but a few years ago, knowledge management was a big buzzword, right? And everybody was talking about it because what they realized is that in any organization, people go away, the data goes away, the experience goes away. So today, for example, no worker in an organization can have access to data only, for example, he has to put it into the knowledge management system for it goes. All the things, customer list, this, plus knowledge. In Japan, when people are about to retire, a young person is put with them. The last 2 years, he only has to explain to a young person what his life story and experience has been. All goes into knowledge management. McKinsey, specifically, in Gurgaon has a center where all this is kept. So if I am making a presentation on behalf of McKinsey anywhere, I don't make my presentation. I say what are the key bullet points. So I would say this, and I send it to the central person. He gives me all the presentation, right? So because lots of things would have happened before on which you will build. So that's why the exact figures come, updated stuff comes. Then whatever idea I will, in a slide set of 30, my contribution may be just 4 new slides. 26 will be more. And as Jitin said, they go back to him. So this is the big thing. The big thing about today and tomorrow thing is what is the resident knowledge base, what is the expertise. Individuals create their own thing. So when you say what does the new consultant do? Whatever is his domain of knowledge, he keeps this and he needs to structure. Today, one of the most important skills to me for a knowledge worker is the personal knowledge management system. That whatever you have, and many professionals used to have, I've been a lawyer for a long time, all lawyers have their nice red book in which all the leading cases, important things are over there. This was pre-computer age. Now, of course, you have Nexus and so on. So this is basically what has happened. And now, of course, you know that a good organization will make sure that all the knowledge is resident in the knowledge base.
भारत में जो विष्णु शैया पे थे, सारा ज्ञान प्राप्त कराने के लिए भेजा,
रावण
और ऐसे ही रावण के पास भेजा।
नहीं,
रिटायर हो रहा है वो दूसरे को
correct, but this is the main thing. Now, as an individual, see, because when I detail, the knowledge management system has this problem. The individual doesn't want to share the knowledge, right? So many places we make present वो अपना slide set नहीं देगा, अपने साथ लेके आएगा, लेके चला जाएगा, तो लोग फोटो खींच के उसको करते रहते हैं. So the idea is that as an individual, I don't want to share my knowledge with everybody. So very often I discuss this. So how do you get people to contribute to the knowledge management system? And the reason they are able to contribute is they realize that their performance becomes better. Because as you will have heard, there is a very famous thing. If I have seen others, it is because I stood on the shoulders of science. And what my giraffe के बारे में कह रहा. So this is how you have to get knowledge management के लिए. देखो आप बताएं, ये तो 10 मेरे कस्टमर हैं, मैं क्यों बताऊं, अगला क्यों ले जाएगा? But उसे अगर तुम ये 10 बताओगे तो उनको 100 और पता चलेंगे, which you will have access to. And this is what the whole issue is about the learning community. This whole thing about open education resources, and we are now moving towards a very interesting model where we want to share knowledge so others can benefit from it. And if you contribute, there's a reciprocity. If you contribute, you get the benefit. If you don't contribute, and this is what is being brought up as a sharing economy. Crowdfunding, crowdsourcing, Quora.com, ये वो क्यों दूसरे को बताएं? तो वो वही बात है. ठीक है, so I think thank you for a very interesting thing, and we deliberately chose to give this different twist because one of the problems with Indians is they want to know what is the latest best. I've been in one tender में लिखा होगा the latest specifications. He doesn't know what he wants, etc. But he wants latest. And अगर वो 386 का 486 आ गया, उसका कोई काम से लेना देना है कि नहीं, वो चाहिए. So we have this, and therefore everybody gets into mainstream, and lots of other things are happening. And one of the things I want to talk, for me, very interesting experience was two new age careers. One is an image consultant. So I was part of board of directors of an institute, one of the first institutes of image consultant. You would not imagine that there is something called image consultant required. We talked to presentation skills, but not your whole image is required. So professionals now hire, and they're personal coaches. The advantage is he or she is talking directly to the CEO, because image consulting is there. And what is even more interesting is you get a chance to be in close touch with the CEO's wife. So lots of people now have risen to high ranks because of the knowledge. But their social thing is such that the wife is not presentable in public places. She has no idea what the wines are, what the cheeses are, with what thing to eat. So these people are highly trained. They tell them how to dress, how to eat, how to talk, etc., etc. That's a very interesting profession, image consultants, and they get paid very highly. And they all, apart from being paid highly, they become very personally attached. The other interesting career that I've come across is certified fraud examiner. So we say this very often in my talks. I say, what do you think is the fastest growing field? And there is a telecom, electronics. The fastest growing field is fraud. And you need specialists who can examine this. So the fraud examiner, see, you know that there are CAs and auditors and say, these people look for things, they can find some mistakes. So somebody was telling me that if you think of a CA or an auditor, etc., as like a sniffing dog who can sniff what the problem is, the fraud examiner is like a bloodhound. It's kind of after it. And I came to know of it in a very amusing way. I have friends in all kinds of people. So one set of friends I have is in the CGA and auditors and so on. And then I learned that there is a program called Certified Fraud Examiner. So just like there is CFA, there's something called CFE. And I was invited to pitch in to do courses on law for them. So I taught about 10, 12 lectures on law, general thing, etc., etc. And now I'm happy to say that some of them have passed the CFA exam and they've become CFEs and so on. And everything. So I was used to tease them. I said, if you can't become a fraud examiner, at least you are equipped to do a fraud now because you know everything that happens. So money laundering, bankruptcy, huge bankruptcy fraud. Right? Money laundering fraud, Ponzi schemes, all kinds of things are there. And so you need people who can do that. And there are big issues there. Like you're saying, they're not able to do anything to Vijay Mallya because he probably had a consultant as a fraud examiner who told him that how he will never get caught. Because you can't specifically point, see, this huge halla against Vijay Mallya. But what has he done wrong? He gave some security, got loan from the bank. If bank needs, they can get that. And they have validated that. So they are part of a contract. Where is the criminality? There is no criminality here, right? I took a loan, I'm unable to pay it. Before giving me a loan, you would have secured it in some sense. Go ahead with the security. The issue has been made because he didn't pay some employees salaries, this, that, they're complaining he's going around with all these women but not paying salary. That is the only thing. People are jealous of Vijay Mallya that is going around with all these women and not paying salary. But otherwise, what is wrong? There's nothing. See, I have my house, loan, by definition, loan value must be less than security that I gave. So take it. And you would have, like Jiten was saying, when I was defaulting in my payments, you should have not put up a notice and then already activated. Why did you wait for so long? So these are some very interesting things, and more will come up. It's fine. I think the issue will be now, like you have all these, activists, every people who will fight for the rights of robots, the rights of computers. You will not switch off a computer, so some new Maneka Gandhi will come up saying that the computer, this thing.